Okay, good morning.
Morning. Mike, David Moore, Dallas Morning News. What is you talk about your interest in Lyle Collins and why it makes sense for you at this time?
Yeah, definitely. I think we could revisit that tomorrow. You know, I know he was in here yesterday for a great workout and looks great. Everything is my understanding, but we're still working through some things.
But as far as your interest in him or another lineman is not tied directly to Tyler Smith and his health situation. It's just
I think it's more the opportunity and where he is, and just trying to make sure that the veteran experience that we have, the things that he has to offer. Obviously, he has a great history here. So I mean, all those things.
Mike Todd Archer with ESPN. Does the same hold true with Damien Wilson?
Exactly. Yeah, we can revisit that tomorrow.
And then, since we're on the subject of new guys, is your team's interest? Is there any interest in looking at Dalvin Cook as a possibility now that he's been waiting?
Yeah, look, those are really questions you're always visiting with and so forth. I obviously have a tremendous amount of respect for him. Played a number of games against Dalvin when he was in Minnesota, so have great respect for him.
Michael Gilkin, Dallas Morning News. Fair to say that Lyle won't be practicing on the practice squad, or won't be on the field today, same for Damien Wilson.
Tomorrow we can revisit it, or we can revisit it tomorrow. I'm trying to find. Yeah, I mean, we're not quite there yet. So.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Mike, Brandon Aubrey's made all 35 field goals this year. How much of a weapon has that been for you, and how does that help you as a play caller, game manager, knowing your kickers playing?
I mean, it's a huge weapon, no doubt about it. I think just throughout the course of the year, I mean, you could see early not only his consistency, but the long field goals. So, and I think that's what was all part of my thinking earlier, was to give him those opportunities. And he's obviously, I mean, it's never been done before what he's done. So, I think that speaks volumes.
Jane
Slater, NFL Network, the Cardinals. They do it again this weekend with the Eagles. What was going through your mind and your team's mind when you guys saw the outcome of that, and how important it is to make sure that your team is locked in on the road, given what happened last year against Washington? I mean, the Cardinals' victory, I think, is just another great example of our league and how competitive it is, and it's a great focal point for us. We were in this same position last year, going to Washington for the last game, and both teams were the records are what they are, but we have a lot to play for, and it's important for us to make sure that we go down there and win this game and do it the right way. But yeah, I was not surprised at all, just because I think the Cardinals have been in almost every game. Obviously, we faced them earlier in the year, so but in a lot of ways the playoffs, everybody's been fighting these last couple of weeks, and the games have been incredible, and I think we're definitely lined up for another great Sunday.
Nick
Harris, DallasCowboys.com. Is there anything that you can pull away from this game against Washington, being on the road, even though it's not a playoff caliber opponent, but just being able to increase road success before the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's it's just one of the things that you go through the statistics, and I think just one of the things just touched on it today in the team meeting. We broke our season up into trimesters, and this would complete our third trimester, and the things that we wanted to accomplish in this trimester are in front of us. So, and that's the opportunity to win the division. But winning on the road is something that's it's just great for your football team. Road wins gives you a different kind of confidence that you bring home, and so yeah, this is a great experience for us.
Mike, you told us on Monday that you guys spent some extra time on the run game and getting ready for this one. Is it about, at this point of the year, zeroing in what you do best, or is trying something new when you guys have gone these?
Well, I mean, the responsibility that we have as coaches, obviously conceptually, we're in buckets or families, ever how you look at it, the game of football. But in the formation, the matchup, those are things that are moving each week, and based on how you think they're going to play you. A big part of our discussion on Monday was the number of runs we had against empty pressure looks. We didn't give our guys great looks in that particular phase of the game. So and the numbers were excessive, and I think it's definitely something you want to experience during the season. because, you know, we've actually done very well against empty, but the last couple of weeks, you know, as I stated on Monday, is, you know, that we're a little bit of an empty pressure magnet right now. So just you look at the numbers the last couple of weeks, the way people have attacked us. So it's good for us. It's made us, you know, really knuckle down and review some things and just apply more reps in that area.
Mike. When it comes to cover zero, Dak obviously had the big play on Saturday. What's the protection element of it, but from a quarterback vantage point, aside from just getting rid of the ball quickly, what are kind of the keys to work through that sort of a look?
I mean, every time you face a defense, and it just, you know, based on your philosophy when you're throwing the ball, you got to have a protection plan. And I think there's common variables that you have to stand through every protection you have, and nobody should run through the A/B gaps. If someone's running through our A/B gaps, something's wrong, and it's gone on, frankly, too much the last couple of weeks. So, but you always have an opportunity to have a pre-snap answer or a post-snap answer. So these are all base things we've been working on. We put a ton of time in. It's a complete change for our players. It's probably the biggest change in offense is our protection system today than it was the last couple of years. So, and that's why you just got to keep working it, you know. And it's just things we've done. It's things we've repped, and you know we just haven't been, you know, efficient or executed the way we needed to the last couple of weeks.
And the way that CD reacted so well, got vertical on that play, is that something that would have happened year one, or is that year two, year three, early this season? Like, was there a point where he and Dak kind of just were on that same?
Well, that's more of his. That's more to the point that I was referring to. You know, he has CD and the receivers have more responsibility in that area than they've had in the past.
Joe.
Joe Hoyt, Lone Star Live. Efforts, obviously a major component of special teams. Kind of on that note, how important is the subculture that John Fassel has created with that special teams unit?
Subculture?
Or just the culture in general that he's created?
Okay. I was going to make a joke, but anyway. No, John's done a tremendous job here. I think, you know, I think like anything, you know, when you break up offense, defense, and special teams, there's, you know, there is a camaraderie there. He's established that really since year one. But, you know, I think the performance of our battery and, you know, some of the changes, you know, losing CJ was big for us. You know, CJ was our guy, you know, our captain, and, you know, probably the lead dog in that room. So, and I think it's given the young guys an opportunity to play, and I think John does an excellent job dealing with that. And if you look at some of the roster moves that we've had, you know, over the last 2 months, I think he's navigated that very well.
David.
What, if anything, will Tyler Smith and Jonathan Hankins do today?
Hank will be limited today. I don't see Tyler doing a whole lot today. He's doing well. I mean, so we'll be smart today. He's in a Wednesday group.
Anyone else with injuries too that you don't anticipate doing anything today?
You know, we have the Wednesday veteran group that are all be minimal on Wednesday.
TJ Bass, aside from his work at guard, which is obviously his primary duty, he's been working in practice. He's getting extra reps to develop at center where he's never played. But how is that coming in terms of just developmentally?
Well, I mean, he's very bright. You know, I think that part of it is you know, you can definitely see he has the quick thinking that you have to have there to play that position. And I think, you know, frankly, you know, training at guard in our system, you know, the guards and center are trained the same. So I could definitely see him making that transition. But it's just like anything. I mean, you need reps. You know, and this is not the time of year to get those reps, and just to, you know, to get on top of the fine details, fine motor skills that are required, you know, with the snapping and, you know, the cadence responsibility and, you know, all the checks. And so, you know, there's a whole level of different, you know, communication, you know, responsibility he has at that position. But, you know, I think it's going well.
Back to Todd. Mike, when you play in a team like Washington here, week 18 with, quote, nothing to lose, do you almost have to expect
The
everything?
unexpected. Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely.
How do you, is it simply to say, fourth down, be ready for them to go for it?
Well, yeah.
Quick plays, things
I
like
mean, you know, Ron's, you know, has been aggressive in the past. So I mean, I would not be surprised if he's, you know, super aggressive in fourth downs. I mean, your deceptives of alerts and all those things. I mean, so yeah, we're expecting them to come at us in a wide open fashion.
The way Jordan Lewis is so physical and just kind of hangs there, even if he's going against a guy well heavier than him. Pound for pound, how does he compare to other DBs that you've been around over your career?
Oh no, I mean I can't say enough about Jordan. Just his competitive spirit is infectious, and I think it's a big part of his success and really coming back. Watch him go through the rehab process and come back from this injury. But yeah, definitely, I'd definitely put him up there, pound for pound.